I chose that word because it took me a long time to get to where I am today to operate in the level of confidence, self love, and self respect. And I have it evolved into not the 7 year old. I evolved from the 7 year old Florida. I evolved from the 20 year old, 30 year old, 40 year old. I am Florida Dudley, unapologetic. Everything that has happened in my life, I apologize for none of it because it has shaped and transformed me into the person that you see today, operating in the capacity that I'm operating in, that have a heart for the people and having a heart just to be the change that I would love to see in this world, unapologetically.
Straight
That's
like
me.
that.
Yes.
I love it. Well, just like we said, we have taken this $2 bill and written your word on it,
Yes.
unapologetic. On the back, we
Unapologetic.
have written the bro code. I signed it, and I've
Yes.
also written a nice little message of you matter
Yes.
because you do.
I
We
do.
ask that you
Thank
keep
you.
that as a keepsake, and just like that $2
Yes.
bill, you are both rare and unique.
I am. Thank you.
More than welcome.
Unapologetic.
I mean, you look at obstacles that I've had in my life, from, just coming out the womb to just some years ago. I could have easily given up on so many. And to be quite honest with you, there was times I wanted to give up. But I had to be relentless. I had to be relentless in life, relentless in work, relentless in love and relationships, relentless and just following God's calling on my life. So when you were asked me about a word, I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I asked my wife, what's some words? And then the word that came up was just relentless. So you're going to always see me be relentless. I'm going to be relentless in serving other people. I'm going to be relentless in loving you, whether you love me or not. I may not like you, but I'm going to still love you.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, as a keepsake, we use $2 bills. We have written the word relentless on the front. We have signed it and put the word bro code and you matter on it. And this is a keepsake for saying, hey, just like that $2 bill, Ed, you are both rare and unique. And we appreciate you being on the show.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Every 68 seconds, someone in America is sexually assaulted. More than 10 million adults experience domestic violence each year. Shining Light in Darkness is a nonprofit dedicated to supporting survivors, especially in underserved communities, through crisis support, counseling, and advocacy. Their mission is to ensure every survivor is seen, heard, and empowered to heal. Join the movement to break the cycle of abuse. Visit shininglightindarkness.org to learn more, volunteer, or donate. Together, we can shine a light in the darkest places.
Welcome to Community Spotlight, brought to you by Bro Code TV Productions and hosted by the Bros. Join us on this dynamic journey as we shine a spotlight on local agents who are making a profound difference in their communities. These remarkable individuals bring creativity, wellness, and purpose to the forefront as they tackle challenges, nurture their families, and celebrate successes. In each episode, we explore their unique stories and initiatives, offering an inspiring glimpse into the world of community transformation. Get ready to be inspired by those who are leaving an undeniable mark on their neighborhoods.
I'm your host, Bro Troy, and today we have a power couple whose dedication to service and advocacy is truly inspiring. Ed Dudley is a financial expert, master communicator, advocate, and consultant. He's the founder of We Are Connect Ed, a firm dedicated to building strategic alliances and fostering collaboration among professionals and entrepreneurs in the Triangle and beyond. Florida Dudley is a licensed coach for victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse, a dynamic speaker, and a passionate advocate. Together, they co-founded Shining Light in Darkness, a nonprofit organization based in Durham, North Carolina. Shout out to Bull City.
Bull City.
Committed to supporting survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. Welcome to the show, Ed Dudley and Florida Dudley. How y'all doing today?
Doing well,
Doing
sir. How you
well.
feeling today?
Good, man. Welcome to the Bro Code Show, man.
Thanks
We
for
keep
having
it
us.
light. Yeah, always, man. I know we're here in Durham, North Carolina, but for those listening, we are right in the midst of where it happens, where the light is really shining in the darkness, man. I'm glad that you guys can make it. It's been a while, Ed, man. We done been through a lot.
Yeah.
Flo, you know you flow now, right?
Yes,
All the government
absolutely.
is done. Yeah,
Yes,
we're
we're
done
done
with
with
the government
that.
language. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. You Miss Flo.
Yes.
And when I saw your name, you know, and I think I originally met you. I've known Ed for a while, but I think I originally met you when we were at Southeast Raleigh
Yes.
Elementary School, doing the very thing that we love to do, which is serve.
Serve.
Right? That's
Yes.
how we're, and a lot of the individuals that I've connected with on this show, off the show, in business, and personally, that has been the ethos.
Yes.
That has been the core, the center
Service.
of what has, service. Yeah, love it. I love it. So we're going to talk about a whole lot. Obviously, we're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about service. We're going to talk about shining light in the darkness and everything and all the greatness that you guys have going on. But we got to have a little fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
So, Ed, if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be?
Number one is going to be Jesus. We'll sit down and break bread with him, and no drinks are necessary. All we need is water because he'll take care of the rest.
No, that's right.
Then it would be my mother. And then the last one would be Malcolm X. And the reason why I say Malcolm X, because I'd love to sit down and chat with him over his story, coming from the streets, going to prison and having transformation, and then coming out on the other side, you know, of his faith and all the work that he did. That's why he's truly an inspirational individual. You know, we could talk about what he did and how he did things, but his life story is just truly remarkable.
I love it. Jesus, Mom, and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
In that order?
In that order.
In that order. What were some of the earlier memories, man? I once heard live life in moments, not minutes, right? It's the memories that really create and resonate that joy, because life don't stop life.
Yeah.
You know, and you need something to hold on to. So what are some of the earlier and greatest memories that you remember of family and this thing with your mom?
So now let me back everybody up on that story. So my biological mother passed shortly after I was born. So I never got a chance to actually see her, and I was a preemie. So I was in an incubator, so she never really got a chance to hold me. So that's why I said my mom. But the individual that I've been calling mom and raised me from about the age of 8, amazing woman. I'm the man I am today because of her and the individual I call my dad. And those memories were crazy. Whether we were running in the street, drinking from the water hose, which no one wants to drink from the water hose anymore, turning the fire hydrant on in the middle of the street and them trying to shut it off on us. So some amazing memories. We spent more time outside than we did inside.
What was home?
Home was Springfield, Massachusetts.
Springfield.
Yeah, birth. There's only 2 things in Springfield: Mass Mutual, the insurance giant, and the Basketball Hall of Fame. So shout out to anybody who loves basketball. You need to get to Springfield and go to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And we all need some insurance. I think that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
And we can, and you are here and able to have that conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Flo,
Yes.
you are an author or about to be. Did I just speak something into existence? Did I?
It's not published, so
Right. So future.
yeah.
You're a future author. But books mean a lot to you. I'm in your office now. I see many of them. Talk to me about a book that has resonated on your heart. Is there a book that has stood out? Is there a book that has created the flowness?
Absolutely, and it's called the Bible.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
the one
Okay.
that has served its purpose and continue to serve its purpose. Outside of the Bible, knowledge is power. Knowledge is what has gotten me to my healing journey, and as I continue to heal, educating myself. But the Bible is my foundation. My Bible is my source of strength, my faith, trouble, hardship, any and everything that I've experienced. I can find solace with the Bible to help me get over. And after the Bible, there are other complementary books that I read to continue to empower me and equip me to do what I was sent here to do, to operate in my purpose, my passion, and my love.
I love that. I love that. Well, there's 66 If I remember right, 60, did I get that right? So it's 66.
That we know of.
That we
There are
know
some
of. There we
missing
go.
books of the Bible, but
And
we're
the
going to
one
go
that we
with
read.
yes.
Right, there we go.
Okay.
60, there we go. Let's
Yes.
verify. Favorite? Is there a favorite chapter? Is there a favorite verse? What resonates with you? What speaks to you? Because there's so much. There's so much meat on that bone.
It is so much. And the one that I would say that resonated with me the most just for this year, especially for the month of February when my father was put in ICU, was Jeremiah 29:11. They focus on the good part, but what God gave me regarding his situation and with his health was that expected end. So even when it looked bleak and it was like he wasn't going to make it, but he has an expected end, not what it is and what it looks like right now. He's going to prosper. He's going to be all of those good things, but he has an expected end. So he's not going anywhere until he do what he's supposed to do and move forward to get to that expected end. And that expected end isn't just the stuff of this world, but it's the world afterwards, where we go from here. We're spiritual beings. So here in the flesh, we have an expected end, absolutely. But when our eyes close and our tongue is sealed to the top of our mouth, there's an expected end for our soul, for our spiritual being. So hence, this is why the Bible is my source, is my strength, is my power, is my purpose, is my calling.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit BroCodeTVProductions.com to connect with the bros today.
I love it. It's like, get it, girl.
Yeah, I'm just saying we're going to take that little clip right there, and we're going to isolate that. We're going to send a piece of it to her dad, and move on.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
If you guys could describe yourself, if you don't mind, Ed, we'll let ladies go first.
Absolutely.
If you guys could describe yourself or describe each other with nothing but emojis. And it's okay if you need to grab your phone. You want me to hand it to you? She ready. Go ahead, Flo.
He told me to behave because
I told her to behave.
so, but we were
ready.
created
I don't know if you're
for a
ready.
purpose, and in that purpose, God told us to be fruitful and to multiply, replenish the earth. So I'm going with the eggplant.
Go ahead now.
Yes.
We ain't censoring nothing on the bro code. Go ahead, eggplant. Just the eggplant, like no water sprouts.
we got the water, we got the tongue hanging out, we got all of it, the naughty, the nice, the angel.
So we going with eggplant emoji,
Yes.
right? I want to make sure all my listeners hear this, so we pop this on the screen.
Yes.
Eggplant emoji.
Eggplant.
The devil.
The devil. The
The
angel.
water, any fire? Electric?
Oh, all of the
All
above.
that.
Thunder
Okay.
and lightning.
Enlightenment.
Because you can leave the chocolate out because the chocolate bar, the candy, he's chocolate thunder. So you put that chocolate, then you put that thunder and that lightning. That's how I describe him.
Well,
He asked me, not you, so this is how I describe you with the emojis. And a smile, all of that. And every day is not a good day. So you also have that anger face that have those cuss words censored out on it. With
smoke?
yeah.
Smoke
So
coming out? Okay.
yeah, but all of the good ones outweigh that the anger, the frustration in it. So he makes me smile. So that's my happy place. So that's my chocolate thunder. If I was to go ahead and describe him right now, would be that chocolate bar and the thunder. Ta-da.
Enjoys have nuts. If everyone actually understood what you just said right there. Because when I first met her, she didn't have a huge sense of humor. And you fast forward a number of years, and she's sitting here. Sometimes I look at her like, what just came out of your mouth? So it's just amazing to see the transformations and some things like that. Mine is very simple, and it will be one emoji. It is going to be that G-rated emoji with the surprised look. That's her. And the reason why I picked that one in particular, because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. You never know what I'm going to whisper in her ear, whether we're at church, whether we're in the street, the shopping mall. And she always gives me this look and says this one word. With her head tilted to the side, she'll say, really? Like, did you just really say that? Did you just really do that? So my emoji is very simple. It's the one with the surprised eyes and the eyelashes.
And I'm far from simple, but thank you.
Oh, you complicated. You complex. You that complex molecule.
Yes.
I have to ask. This was not on the list. now I got to ask. Now,
Okay.
So, married 13 years. How long you guys been married?
Too long. How?
We stopped counting.
So, okay.
15, what?
I'm right there with you.
Married in the spirit, or because married.
Once
in the
we
spirit,
intertwine, so it's been over
man
15.
finds favor when he finds a wife. So.
Yeah, so you've obtained that favor.
Yeah,
So
and then predestined before time to be together.
okay.
Yeah, a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Top three, when we're talking about, I've heard compromise, I've heard spice, I've heard mini vacations, I've heard breaks, I've heard different hobbies. But what is it, right? Everybody's core is different, right? Everybody's equation of what works and gets to the other side of that equal sign.
Okay.
But marriage is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
So what is your equation? I guess
I'll let
that's
you-
it.
you
We'll
go-
talk
you
to
go ahead and
What's the
start.
equation?
So our equation is definitely faith, and after faith, making sure that we get the order right, not to make each other the gods to anger our God. So after our faith, communication, and communication doesn't mean that you're going to communicate about a bad situation immediately, but we have come to the consensus that right now we don't feel like addressing the matter right now, but we will come back to it the following day. And then the next one, the last one, is just enjoying each other, enjoying every aspect.
Everybody likes chocolate. I mean,
So here's the difference. You say everybody likes chocolate,
Everybody likes
but I love my chocolate. So I'm not everybody, and everybody is
caught my
not
collar.
me.
Caught my collar
So
a little bit.
that's that. So yeah, faith, communication, and enjoying each other in the present moment, not taking each other for granted.
Yeah, I think in there as well, you got to throw understanding.
Communication.
You have to have like pure understanding, because I mean, even when she's not communicating, I got to understand how she's feeling. Being together for a while, just like, how is she feeling? Does she want to laugh? Does she want to be bothered? Does she want to be touched? In that sign. So you got to be able to understand your mate. So with the things she said, and you couple understanding, and for me, laughter, like laughing, having fun. I'm the type of person, I'll pull out my phone and I'll take a picture when she's doing something that she has no idea, and I'll laugh about it all day. Look, she just took a deep breath when she don't like that. I got a whole photo. I got a whole folder. Oh,
Yeah.
It's definitely a full folder. But for me, I love to laugh, and I love when we're sitting there, we're having a genuine laugh together. And there's times that we'll go down that TikTok hole together, and we'll sit there in the bed and we'll look up. It's been an hour. We've been sitting there laughing at the nonsense that we're seeing people doing on social media.
Yeah.
I love that. Men are visual, so I totally understand when
Yeah.
you talk about that flow folder.
Yeah.
That flow folder.
Oh, I'm just as visual. Don't discount being a female.
Oh, no, I was just saying
I have an Ed folder too. So, no. We're both very visual, and yeah, we love our visual aids to continue to spice up and make us smile. when we're upset with each other. So that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
main purpose of that
Oh, yeah.
folder is
I'll look
going
at
back,
I'll look
reflecting
at some
on it.
I'll look at some old photos.
Yeah.
Like when she done pissed me off, I'm like, all right, I gotta remember
Yeah.
remember why I'm with you
That's
and
right.
what
Yeah.
caught my attention, at the beginning.
That's
So
it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
A reminder.
Oh Lord, Lord.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Indeed. For the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit brocodetvproductions.com to connect with the bros today.
So let's talk about that because that's a good segue into this next space because I oftentimes am challenged by this word balance. I actually have thrown it out. I don't believe in it. I think it's a bad word, right? But what I've replaced it with, right, in learning this relationship thing is harmony.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is Bruce Lee said, be like water and take on the shape of the container. And you said that, Ed, when you were talking about being present and how she feels. That's the same thing, meaning that as I enter into this space, I'm able to put aside just for a moment to take on what's going on because I care and love enough. I care for you enough. It goes beyond just the platonic part. But I care for you in the space to do that. And I'm trying to be more conscious of that. So, because for me, balance, I think of a scale. And for you to be balanced, you have to be still. And I'm never still. I'm always over here. I'm always over there. But can I be present?
Yeah.
Even in my fullness. So I'm curious, how do you guys find harmony or balance, whatever, however you want to look at that in the marriage and all of the dope stuff that you guys
So with you talking about balance, like right here, we have our armor of God when you talk about balance. And when you remove certain things, it causes things to fall out of place. So if things are out of place, that means that we're going to be out of place. We're not going to be able to support each other. So we don't believe in balance either. We believe in enhancing each other because at the end of the day, balance, tipping the scales, when you're married and you're with that individual 24/7, basically, there are going to be some times that the scale is going to weigh heavy on, I'm tired. I want to be by myself. I just don't want to see you. I want you to go to your space. I go to my space. Let's do this. But enhancing, we have the harmony of enhancing each other, not asking anybody to change for us. I'm not asking him to change. I'm only enhancing him, pulling out of his qualities, seeing the best in him, even when he can't see the best in himself, always motivating, always encouraging, always speaking life, always praying. So with the harmony, everything that I just named, it's what we do, what I do as far as our relationship goes. That's the harmony, our faith and trusting each other to do what we're supposed to do, even when one is not up to par, even when one is off balance. The other one comes in and he or she comes in and guess what? I may have been off a little bit, but because he poured into me, I'm able to stand back up and move forward the next day. So every day is not a good day, but when you have someone that is your peace, it's easy to continue to move forward. Not saying you're not going to go through or experience things, but when you have somebody that genuinely loves you and support you, and he calls me the overly optimistic individual because I am. There's no way, regardless of how bad a situation is, where I'm going to say something negative. I'm going to see the other side of it. Are we right here in this situation? Be it personal, business, family. It may be like this right now, but guess what? We gonna have the sunshine. Because guess what? I am the sunshine. So you have to fully embrace this, because he said earlier, the man that findeth the wife finding a good thing also obtain favor from the Lord. So he even got that favor from the Lord, and he has his own piece of sunshine. There are not too many men that can say that they literally have Florida right there with them 24/7, a ray of sunlight.
There's so many things I can say, but the first thing, and when I told you laughter is my thing, for those of you who have watched Harlem Nights and Sunshine from the, I'm sorry, No,
Golden hair.
so, you know,
Okay.
my sign is Libra. And if you look at Libra is all about harmony, the balance, and you see the scales. And I used to believe in that. I was like, my life has got to be balanced. It's got to be balanced. And in life, as the kids like to say, life will start lifing you. And that balance is just all screwed up. And you're all over the place. One of the things that we've been able to do is when I'm just about depleted, I might be riding on E, which I like to do because it's a game for me riding down the car for E. But her tank is overflowing. So I can lean into her. Doesn't make me less of a man, but I can lean into her and she can help strengthen me. Vice versa. So we have that harmony, and we have a tendency to be like Bruce Lee, to wata. But it's all about just, coming together. And, if God has truly put you together, there's nothing that you can't overcome. It's plain and simple as that. If you truly put God into your relationship, into your marriage, I wholeheartedly believe there's nothing that you can't overcome. There's nothing that you can't forgive and let go. But you got to have him in there. And that he is the ultimate harmony. He is the ultimate balancer. Once you do that, everything else will just flow like water.
Thank you. Because again, you have the sunshine, you have the flow, whatever it is, not going against the flow. You're going to go with the flow. And that's what we do. He goes with the flow.
I know you hear that. She had to go with the flow.
He go with the flow.
That has to be
Yes.
a catchphrase, right?
And it is.
She is special.
I am. I'm very special.
Special.
I love it. I love it. Flo, I have to ask. I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 tattoos, and I can remember each and every one of them, the time, the date, the why, the stage of life I was in, and everything that was going on in that stage. Not only do you have tattoos, they're obviously visible. Talk to me about that. Do you have a favorite? And if so, what frame of mind and what stage of life were you at when you got it?
I got to interrupt on this one. I have multiple tattoos.
I see.
And you just can't. You can never really see it. For the career that I had in the past, you couldn't really see it. I was in financial services, and that was frowned upon. Even the facial hair was kind of looked a little funny. When I first met her, she was a blank slate.
Really?
She never had a tattoo when I first met her. And I'll never forget, I was going to visit her, and she said, "Come on, let's go." And we went somewhere, and we pulled up to a tattoo shop. And she says, "I'm going to get a tattoo." I'm like, "Yeah, right. You're going to get a tattoo. You're in your early 30s. You've been a blank slate since then." And she went in and got her first tattoo.
Not one, but I got 2.
She got 2 on that time.
On the first try.
On the first try. And then this has been an evolution over time, so I'll let her go in.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905. Or visit BroCodeTVProductions.com to connect with the bros today.
Well, all of them are my favorite because during my healing journey from my trauma, it started in increments. This one up here is I'm Enough. I don't know if you could actually see it, but it's right there because as a survivor of sexual assault and domestic violence, when you don't know what is going on, because that was a subject that was not talked about, and with it not being talked about, I had to figure out my own healing. And in my healing, it resonated with me that I am enough. And from there, my compass, never losing my way, because it got so dark during my healing journey that I didn't know if I was coming or going. But I got that. And then my birds, my eagle, again, my faith is right here. Tree planted by the water with it, the ebbs and flows going with it, and representing life as well. My ego specifically is being able to soar above it all, hence Florida soars, because what attempted to keep me bound in darkness rose above it all. And then this is a new beginning. Being a Gemini, people say that this is like two people. And literally, as I was fighting for my sanity and for my healing, I was warring with myself. So it was two individuals that became one so we could move forward. And then the phoenix, being able to rise above it, out of the ashes of it all. And then my rose in my clock. Time is something that you will never be able to get back. So I'm making sure that I live in the moment and enjoy it, not regretting anything, because time is one thing that you will never ever be able to get back. And I have some more, but these are the only ones that, oh yeah. And right here, believe. My eternal loop. This is why he calls me the overly optimistic person, because regardless to how bad it may seem, my faith, it helps me to believe beyond what it looks like. And so that is my tats for right now. And as I continue to heal, if I'm led to get more, I will. Hence is with the piercing as well. I got them. One was to help with the migraines, and then the other one, my tattoos is a symbol of me being alive, to make a long story short. Because during the time I started getting my tattoos and my piercing, I was numb. I needed to feel something, even if it was just a temporary something, because I wanted to know that I was alive. And even with getting them, I know some people would say that the healing process of all of this, it hurts and all of that, but it really didn't hurt. When I say I was numb as I was going on my healing journey, I literally was numb from, oh yeah, in my nose piercing. I went back, I let it close, and then I went back and got it re-pierced, and it's supposed to have hurt, but it didn't. But I'm here, and they are here with me for this journey.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate you sharing. We're going to take a slight break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about the armor. I see a lot of statues in here. I see a lot of armor guards, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. I want to talk a little bit more about the mission, transition in from your why into how you use that to serve others. And we'll be right back on the Bro Code Show.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit BroCodeTVProductions.com to connect with the bros today.
We are back on the Bro Code Show with the Dudleys. Oh, the Duval Dudleys. Excuse me.
No.
The Dudleys. Right?
The lovely
the lovely
Dudley.
The
Dudleys.
lovely Dudleys. I love it.
Shout out to my friend Angie for giving us that name.
What you mean, your friend? That's
love
our
it.
friend.
I love
Okay.
it. Look, we're here. The lovely Dudleys are in the building.
Yeah.
You gave us the rundown flow of the journey of the tattoos. Let's travel down that same space, because you are not just a survivor, but a thriver.
No, flourisher.
Flourisher. I love it.
Yes.
I got it. That makes sense. It does. But talk to me about that. Bring me back to that space. First, as a child, and having that encounter. Oftentimes that happens with individuals that say they love us, or quote unquote family. But I want to hear your story as a child, and then from there, take me to, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were also in an abusive relationship. I assume that was as an adult or as you got older. So walk me through that. What did that look like? How did it feel in that space?
What did that look like, and what did it feel like? Hell. I know that in Revelations in the Bible, it paints a vivid picture of a lake of firestone, brim and firestone, and all of that. And to fight for my life, that's what that felt like. It was really a battle. I was waging war with myself, not with anybody else. So at 7 years old, being in the first grade, I was molested by my uncle. And immediately when I went to school, I went to tell my first grade teacher about what happened to me. Because my parents, my mom specifically, she's always said, you let an adult know something if anything bad happened, because they're supposed to protect you. So when I went to her and I told her about what had happened to me, she looked at me as if I had said something wrong or done something wrong. I then just realized my voice was silent, and that moment changed the entire trajectory of my life. I'm a wounded healer, because even with that one thing happening to me, it wasn't because of something I done. I was a child, and it was my innocence that was stolen. Hence, I'm enough, regardless to how I viewed or saw myself. I didn't see the beauty that I possessed. I didn't see the value that I could bring to anything, because I suffered in silence. Not because I didn't know my worth or anything like that, but it was because I kept all of that hidden inside. And when I got older, date raped. After that, my first marriage, I thought that was like the most significant thing, most traumatic thing in my life, but it wasn't. And the reason why I said I thought that was because I almost died. And in the most intimate and personal type of killing that a partner would use or attempt to use is strangulation. And so he strangled me while we were traveling abroad. And all I operated in after I came back to was gratitude, because I was still alive. I was still here. And the fingernails, impressions, indentation, all of that stuff was visibly present. On the cruise, I didn't bring any makeup, so I went to the spa to get something to try to cover it up and all of that, but to no avail. And then after that, I was done, but due to erroneous guidance from my pastor at the time, he told me he thought that those indentations, fingerprints, those finger marks, claw marks were curling burns, and I lost it there. And I was like, in what world does a burn look like this in claw marks? And indentations from fingernails look the same. And because of that, he told me he just knew that so and so loved me and I should make it work. Hence, I stayed in it for a little while longer. But I never brought my children into the mess because I didn't want them to think that that was a healthy thing or relationship where you hear and you witness arguing. And I asked him to let's leave out of the family room to have our discussion, and he refused to leave. So he wanted to be belligerent in front of my 5-year-old at that time. And when he left, she looked at me. She said, "Mama, don't worry about so and so. God is going to send you a man that loves you and appreciate you and going to treat you like the queen that you are." And so I said, "Lord, you give me a way of escape out of this. I will not look back." He gave me a way of escape. I never looked back, never regretted any of my decisions. And when I say I thought that almost dying was the most traumatic part, and it was not, was because I was of age where I could defend for myself. I could speak out. I could protect myself because that's what I did when he attempted to try to make that a pattern. So initially, my pastor thought that it was curling iron marks, how I burned my neck. We were in the bathroom having a disagreement. So guess what? I was curling my hair. He wanted to get physical with me. I had the curling irons in my hand. Granted, I didn't burn myself. I burned him in the kitchen. He wanted to become physical in the kitchen. I had my knives and I used them. And after that, deuces, God gave me the way of escape. He knew he wasn't going to do it, but nevertheless, he attempted to. But me not being able to speak up or be protected by an adult at 7 years old, that was the part that caused me the most trauma. And I dealt with that. It stayed suppressed until 2015 when we were in a bad car accident. And in that car accident, I sustained life-threatening injuries. New trauma. But it wasn't the new trauma that almost took me out or wiped me out. It was suppressed 7-year-old Florida being assaulted. All of those unhealthy memories was a demon literally trying to extinguish my light. And any way that the darkness could try to overtake me, it attempted to. But I thank God, and it's all through the foundation of my upbringing, my faith in God, Jesus Christ, the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, that has sustained me, that sustained me at 7-year-old and continue to sustain me now. Because even when it got so bad where I did want to take my own life, when the Word of God tells you His grace is sufficient, literally, His grace is sufficient, where when I thought that I couldn't bear it anymore and wanted to end it, I had a little reprieve where I was able to breathe. I wasn't drowning in my trauma. I wasn't treading waters, but I was able to breathe. Was it long term? Absolutely not. But it afforded me the opportunity to move forward, revamp, re-strategize, come up with, devise some type of plan to continue to move forward. And in moving forward, before the accident happened, we'd already formalized Shining Light in Darkness, but I had no idea to the degree of how it was supposed to be or what it looked like until that car accident happened. And so with that car accident happening, that's when everything started to come together, because when I initially reached out for help, there was no help. Um, then I tried traditional help, therapy, medication. That didn't help. And so I started educating myself about what happened to me at 7 years old. And by me being able to educate myself about how that one incident at 7 years old changed my entire life completely, I was I was healing. People probably don't understand it, but I was healing by understanding, correlating a lot of things that I did as a child and what I enjoyed, what I loved doing, in the different careers that I chose. It all stemmed from that 7 year old incident. So what I wanted to go through it, absolutely not. But at the same time, um, my purpose is bigger than my life. And so operating in my purpose, not saying God have bring all of this negative stuff on us. No, when we go through stuff, it's not always for us, but to help others. And so I'm a servant at the end of the day. In and everything that I do, I've always been in the position of service, always giving back, always trying to give back. And doing that, Shining Light in Darkness exists. Doing that, Florida Soars exists. Doing that, we have our other businesses that we have together. But most importantly, out of all of that, yes, Shining Light in Darkness, it exists to help give voice back to the voiceless, to the marginalized community, to the invisible community that people don't see, that they always overlook intentionally. But it was Florida Dudley that was able to reclaim her voice back, that which was stolen from me at 7 years old. So even with creating these entities, the most important thing for me was finding myself, loving myself, operating in what I was put here to do. Does pain hurt? Absolutely. Does sometimes pain overtakes people where they take their lives? Absolutely. But through my pain, it's my purpose to help others. What I can do is what I can do. What Shining Light in Darkness can do, Shining Light in Darkness can do. What Florida Source can do, that's what Florida Source can do. But there would be no Shining Light in Darkness, there would be no Florida Source without Florida being able to go with the flow, hence flow.
I love it.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit brocodetvproductions.com to connect with the bros today.
All of that. First and foremost, thank you for sharing.
Did he just do the snap?
Having the agency, the test and the testimony, we overcome by that. So
By the testimonies.
I commend you. I admire you. I encourage you. All of those things. I felt you overcome just in that moment of you sharing it.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that you've shared that several times. That was not the first. I thank you for using your voice. Yeah. I thank you for taking the time to say, yes, did it hurt? Does it still hurt? Absolutely. But it is through that sense of nurturing, right? Like you can't create a diamond without the friction.
Right,
you can't.
Like the olive oil. How can you get oil without the crushing?
Right,
So I mean, you just have to be able to understand where you're at in your life, because when I say that his grace is sufficient, it wasn't always his grace was sufficient. It's just right here in this space where his grace is sufficient for everything. But knowing how to be content in whatever situation that I find myself in, to have food, no food, roof over my head, no food, clothes on my back, no clothes. It's just being content in the situation, not trying to rewrite it or act like it didn't happen or it existed, but fully embracing the journey that 7-year-old little girl, what she endured to get to right here, 2025. Florida Dudley. I love my name. At first, I didn't like my name because kids would be so cruel. Florida, that's a state. Your name after the state. Ha ha ha. No, guess what? I'm also named after a county within that state, Duval County. I own mine. And that's what you have to do, come into ownership with the negative things that have happened to you in life. It's not to break you, to hurt you, nor the testing of your faith. No, that's not it. But it's just to purify you, like the iron in the fire. You're being refined for a purpose that supersedes our understanding. And when we try to understand it in this natural sense, we're going to get upset. We're going to become angry. We're going to just get into a state of bitterness and resentment of what had happened versus what can happen, allowing that diamond to be created, allowing that oil to come out, allowing yourself to be able to bloom, to flourish. But if you choose to look at it one side, it's not going to happen.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit brocodetvproductions.com to connect with the bros today.
I love it. I love it. Ed,
I just say I'm gonna go sit off behind the screens. I'm gonna let her.
It's the flow shit.
I'm gonna let her shine. I'm gonna let her do what she does.
It doesn't take much, right? I make no excuses. I want to hear it from your perspective, Ed, because here you are as the man, right? I want to take ownership of how me as a man, in my perspective, we have, I believe, and I know I take a sense of pride, right, on the things that I'm able to bring to fruition. Flo was brought to you, right? It's by design, and she was brought to you. When she was brought to you, you didn't know initially about, right? You didn't know about any of those things. And trauma is like a gumbo. And all those gumbos are different. They have different seasonings in them. So here it is, this Flo show comes to you, right? And all her rawness and everything, that gumbo of her own. And you take ownership of that. So much so that you say, you know what? I'm going to add my own seasoning, baby. I want to hear the feeling, the position, the posture, of a man coming in. And this is later on in life. Like, you a grown man. You done took on every flaw, or whatever you want to call it. All the isms, phobias, and biases already on you at this point. You are who you are. And now this relationship starts. How? What was the thought process? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I'm a man of few words, and she's a woman of a lot of words. But I remember when we were dating, she started sharing with me, and one of the things she shared with me was happened in the previous relationship with domestic violence. And I simply said, whoa, I don't know personally anyone that has gone through that. That was me being naive, not really looking at the full spectrum of people in my orbit. And I was like, okay, that's not me, don't worry about it. So we continue to go down that path of dating. And then after that, some time went by, and she says, I want to share something else with you. And then she shares what's happened in her early 20s with the date rate. And I was like, whoa, that's heavy. I'm like, whoa. I don't know what to say. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, well, we're still going forward. And then I'll never forget. She said, we need to talk. So for every woman out there,
Right.
with someone significant other in your life, please don't ever say we need to talk.
You don't start that way.
Don't no, please, because we start thinking about what did we do, what didn't we do, what did we say, what didn't we say, where did we mess up,
Where's it
like,
going?
or I like okay, and that's where I was. I was in that, oh God, what did I do? Because it was a long distance relationship at the time, and she says I need you to understand the totality of me, and she shares what happened to her at 7 years old, and I had no idea how to process that. It was heavy, and she started sharing more, and I'm listening, and in a nutshell, I basically said, it's not about your past, it's not really about the present, it's about our future together, and that didn't matter, and we continue to go down this path together, and there were many detours along the way, but we ultimately ended up together. But it was heavy. It was and I don't think I ever told her, I didn't sleep.
No, but what you
I-
did forget is that you told me you would pay for me to go
Yeah,
to a therapist.
I did.
So
I did forget about that.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a lot of pieces, things that that I forgot along the relationship, but I didn't sleep for 2 days because I was trying to process that piece, and as a man, and some years went by, and it always sat in the back of me, and some years went by, and ultimately shared with me, and I know at times she says she regret sharing it, who it was. And she made me promise, as long as she's still on this earth, to never say anything about it. But yeah, it's been a challenge. There's good days, it's bad days. I try to support as much as I can. As a significant other, someone that's dealing with that has dealt with trauma, you can potentially get secondary trauma. I experienced that secondary trauma, not understanding a lot, because sometimes you never know what your significant other's triggers are,
Right.
and the triggers could be a lot of different things where they may be minor to you, and you may not understand it, but it's not minor to them, and it's big, and trying to navigate those at times, and I will be honest, I've tripped. I've said things, I've done things that have triggered her.
Yeah.
And it's truly a learning process. Like every day, you got to try to be conscious, of certain things. And I mean, for some people, it's a color. Some people, it's a smell. I know an individual, he shared with me about his assault, and he will not watch a certain sport because the individual had a certain jersey on.
Wow.
And that's a trigger for him.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit BroCodeTVProductions.com to connect with the bros today.
That's a good one too. I want to dig deeper in that. Why? Because I believe there's a stigma around this whole thing about men being abused, right? So, talk to me about that, man. Help dismantle. Help talk to me about what you've seen in the work and what that space.
So let's just say this: the vast majority are women, no doubt. However, there is a subset of men that are dealing with abuse and domestic violence. Because a lot of times when we think of domestic violence, we think of the physical. That's the first thing everyone thinks of.
Right.
But there's emotional. there's verbal, there's financial. I had a gentleman that I was talking to, started going through a divorce and had been reading a lot of our social media pages, and he said he didn't realize that he was in a domestic violence relationship for years. I'm like, wow. Had another individual tried to call me, but I wasn't available on the phone, and he drove from Holly Springs to Durham, not knowing whether I was in the office or not. The next thing I know, the receptionist saying, "You have a visitor." I'm like, "I don't have anyone on my calendar." And I open the door, and this 6'3" gentleman comes and sits down in tears. I'm like, what's going on? Dealing with domestic violence. His significant other, who was all of 5'5", broke his nose. And he didn't do anything, and the cops were involved, and there's this thing called the cycle of abuse that we'll share with you in a later time. But I had a flyer of the cycle of abuse sitting on a credenza, and he looked at it, and he kept staring at it, and he pointed at it, and he said, "I'm right here in the cycle." And he started crying. Abuse does not know any gender. It does not know any socioeconomical background, does not know any ethnicity. It knows no faith. Abuse is abuse. And so many people deal with it and not understanding the complex nuances of domestic violence and even sexual assault. Even from the context of the faith, you can Google. You'll hear about the Catholic Church. You'll hear about Southern Baptists. It's everywhere in our systems, and we have to do a better job of talking about it freely. Because a lot of times we won't talk about it, and that's the biggest problem. We're not talking about it. I have two personal mandates in the work that I do. One is to get in front of as many churches as I can, because we got individuals that are suffering in silence inside the church. She's already shared her story about the pastor, and that's one of the reasons I want to get in many front of churches. And the other one is getting in front of as many young men and men as possible to talk about it. And we're well on our way getting in front of men, and we'll talk about some things that we got going on in the summer and potentially October, getting men to just open up. One of the questions I ask men when they start talking about the work that I do, I said, I want you to think of 3 women that you know. And I said, of those 3 women that you know, just circle 1. And I said, that one has probably dealt with some form of domestic violence or sexual assault. And I said, go back and talk to all the individuals in your life that you love and care for. Ask them what their experience is of dealing with sexual assault, domestic violence. While they may not have a personal story, I guarantee you they know someone that does.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to do a better job, especially as men, a better job of talking about it.
And we're going to do that right here on the Bro Code Show. We're going to take a slight break, but when we come back, we're going to dig deeper into turning pain into purpose. This thing called shining light in darkness, how it was founded, its mission, its organization, the programs and the service activities it does, as well as how they collaborate with other organizations and the real life impact that's happening right here in the RDU area. With the Dudleys on the Bro Code Show. We'll be right back.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit BroCodeTVProductions.com to connect with the bros today.
We are back on the Bro Code Show with Flo and Ed Dudley in the building. We want to talk about this thing called purpose. You know, earlier we talked about pain, but oftentimes I've heard that purpose is birthed through pain. And it sounds as if, as we were having this conversation for the last 45 minutes, that is the case. I want to talk about that. You know, talk to me more about the mission, the drive. I think we've dug into that, but dig a little bit more deeper into the service activities. How do you actually serve the community?
Wow. You started off talking about purpose, and I always tell people, 10 years ago, you couldn't have told me I'm doing any of this, like none of it. I tell people that it's a good thing when you find your purpose, but it's an amazing thing when your purpose finds you. And that my purpose in this season found me working with survivors and victims that we serve. And as far as what we do a lot. But our main core services are crisis support. If someone calls and they're in a crisis and maybe we need to, or one of us needs to go to the hospital to help accompany them so they don't feel alone. And maybe they're escaping immediately from a household for violence and they just leave without everything. And we help them with what we call our break-free bags, which have feminine products, lotion, toothbrush, and things that they will need on a daily basis, basically hygiene products. We can help with clothing as well. I'm excited that a little before Christmas, we'd opened up an emergency housing program. Just to put it in context, in the Durham area, longstanding agency that's been here for about 30 years, they had 14 beds that were dedicated for survivors. In the Raleigh area, I know there's one that has about 20 beds. And here's mighty but powerful shining light. Within a span of a couple of weeks, we have 13 beds available for survivors. Once we ascertain where they are after the crisis and we got them to see where they are, we will provide therapy. When we talk about domestic violence and sexual assault and people start looking at things, I think we need to reframe the conversation. Because think about your mental health that they're dealing with sexual assault and domestic violence. So, they look at us and you're a domestic violence agency and sexual assault agency, yes. But we're also a mental health agency as well. Right. Because we help guide people along that path with their mental health. So we'll provide free therapy for the survivors. And initially was, we're saying 10 sessions, but, we come to it, like whatever they need, we'll help them with that therapy. Now, I'm going to make y'all laugh a little bit because I told you I like to laugh. It wasn't too long ago, I love football. Love football. My team is the New England Patriots. We're bad right now, but that's okay because we ruled for 2 decades. No other team can actually say that. So it's the night before football season about to kick off. And I know what games I'm watching. I know what I'm going to eat. Know even where I'm going to plop myself on the couch.
So he thought.
Flo came in the business.
Flo.
She changed the flow.
She got
Absolutely.
a call. She got a call from a survivor that we worked with, and the survivor had to get out of their home on Monday, or they were going to be evicted.
It's Sunday.
No, this is Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Saturday night.
Okay.
She's telling me this.
So college football.
No, Sunday.
This is pro football.
Oh,
the
Sunday.
NFL kickoff. So that Saturday night, she tells me, she's like,
And we go Sunday.
we have to help a survivor get out before Monday, or she's going to be evicted, stuff put on the street. I look at him like, what are you talking about? We. I'm like,
You speaking French.
I'm like, this is not what we do. This is not on the website of what we do. She said, no, we have to help her.
We meet the need.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh God, okay. And I'm like, can I tape some games? But I know people are going to text me and everything. So the next day, get up, to head over to help her. I put out an SOS to a bunch of guys. It's football season. Guys are plopped and it's last minute. We end up over there probably about 11 and 12 o'clock. We were over there, I think, till after 9 o'clock, helping this individual pack and load stuff and put stuff in the thing, into her storage unit. When I say we do what we can to help a survivor, we'll do what we can. Even sometimes if it's out of our normal scope of work, but to make sure that they're okay, especially when they have children too, to make them feel like they're okay. Like we provide teddy bears for anyone that's going into our shelter. And we didn't do it at first. We helped one individual that was referred to us by the police department, and Florida on national TV on WARL says, yes, we got a program that we give teddy bears out.
Stuffed animals, let's be correct.
Well, stuffed animals. And I'm like, I'm sitting on TV, I'm like, naturally, I'm like, okay.
He didn't remember it.
I'm like,
but
we got a program.
Not only just that, any way to normalize a victim or survivor going through this tumultuous time in their life, any way that we can humanize it, that's what we do. And even with him forgetting that this was something I said that we're going to do, because I mean, at the end of the day, little kids, they're innocent and they are relying on their parent for guidance and support. Just because it's the parent that's going through it, but the child being able to witness it and sometimes are actually assaulted themselves, they need therapy, they need support just as much as the victim themselves. And so for me, and how to humanize it a little bit more, was to get the mom a little Bath and Body Works stuff, just to let them know, okay, you have people that care about you. And then with the children, okay, here's something, I don't know if you might like it, but I'm always using my discernment, and each stuffed animal that we've given the kids, they've loved it, and it's something that they wanted. Even with pregnant survivors, things that are not in our repertoire, whatever I feel that they need during that time and at that specific moment, this is what we do. And it doesn't matter if we use Shining Light in Darkness budget, because before 2024 of last year, it came out of our pocket, 90% of it, and it's a volunteer-led organization. So we've been coming out of our pockets anyway to provide for the victims and survivors. Nothing is going to change. If the grant don't want to pay for this, guess what? Flo and Ed is going to pay for it. Ed and Flo is going to pay for it. We're going to continue to have that empathy and humanizing this dehumanizing situation, because unless you've actually experienced it or have loved ones that can tell you, give you, shine a little light on it, more so than anybody, more so than the victim themselves, it's very frustrating having to reach out for help to someone when Shining Light in Darkness may have been the last organization that they reached out to. But guess what? Where they were told, no, 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 Shining Light in Darkness, the name exemplifies who we are. We say, yes, we can help you. We can do X, Y, Z. Hence being a light in darkness. So any way that we can exhibit light in darkness, that's what we do.
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit brocodetvproductions.com to connect with the bros today.
And a huge shout out to the Microsoft in the Triangle area that came through with a bunch of teddy bears,
stuffed animals
for us to provide to these young people. And another shout out to the diaper bank.
Yes.
The diaper bank, we had an individual that we were helping. He's like, Ed, I don't have any diapers. And I reached out to the diaper bank and it's like, let's talk. And they literally gave us a big bunch of donation of diapers, and we have a great partnership with them now where they're not only providing diapers, they're providing formula, they're providing period products.
Feminine products.
Feminine products. I'm sorry. So, so Brother Troy sitting behind the camera cracking up laughing. So now I'm gonna really make you laugh. So we had someone call us, says, I need some help with feminine products. Florida calls me, can you go to the store, get some feminine products?
Because I was sick.
I'm standing in the store and I'm looking confused. I'm looking here, I'm looking on the shelf. I'm like, wait a minute, this got wings?
I
Is it gonna
told
fly
you.
away?
I
It's about to
told
fly
you.
away. You know, it's heavy and it's light. And I'm like, what is
I
this?
told him what to get.
Oh my God! I thought there was a lot of bread, different brands of bread in the aisle. But oh my goodness! And eventually we got our daughter to go and do it. But any way that we can serve them, in their time of need, we're going to do it. And we're going to do it with love and care. And everyone that comes to us, when they're onboarded with us and we're talking to them, we let them know you're not just a case number. You're not just a name. You're part of our family. And we're not talking about that family that you don't like, you don't want to see on Thanksgiving. We're talking about the family that you love. Every time you see them, your face lights up. You give them a big hug. I don't care how long it's been. But we want to make sure they know that they're seen, they're heard, and they're supported.
I love it. I love it. Look, we have to let the people know, one, where they can go to support, because this is a nonprofit, correct?
Correct.
Now, earlier in the conversation, just a moment ago, you mentioned this thing called grants. Well, not just grants, but donations.
Absolutely.
Donations are needed. So talk to the people. One, how can they support? What levels of support? What does support look like? Beyond just money, but volunteerism, time, prayers. What is it that the RDU area, what is it that the nation can do to support Shining Light in Darkness?
You just said it. Monetary, volunteering, spiritually, prayers, because the work that we do is not easy. And for anyone or any organization to do the work regarding sexual assault and domestic violence, you have to have someone that's willing and love the work that they do, because if you are not properly equipped for this work, it will burn you out, and you will need to get therapy and all of the other resources that we provide to victims and survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. Because if you are a survivor or a victim in this situation and say that you're going to come and volunteer with Shining Light in Darkness and get in the trenches with us and you're re-triggered, we failed you. And so what we do, we just really want people that, if you are a survivor, to know your triggers, what it is that will put you in a bad space. For me, I know it's dealing with children. So I'm always going to make sure that when it comes to kid survivor, I'm not going to touch that. And then monetary donation, corporate, individual, foundations, trusts, grants, however people want to donate, they can go to the website and click on it for volunteering to make a donation. And then with the donation part, the monetary part, of course, money is how we can better and adequately serve the victims more. You can go in and do a line item to how you want this money allocated. So if it's something specifically that you would like for us to focus on and use the funds, we can do that as well. So
there's a drop down box. If you go to the website, click donate, and how do you want to apply these funds?
I just said that.
I will say though, we would love recurring donations. I don't care if it's $10 a month, it's $25 a month. Recurring donations to help keep our operations afloat, to make sure that we are able to put gas in someone's car, make sure that we're able to help with rent, which we've done in the past, and security deposits. Sometimes these grants will say that you can only spend the money on XYZ. And if you don't have it allocated for XYZ, you can't spend it on, because those are restricted dollars. We need the unrestricted dollars. Those unrestricted dollars allow us to do a lot more and truly serve in specific ways that a survivor might need.
He's the money guy. I'm going back to volunteering. We need the bodies, because the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. We need people that are genuinely dedicated to doing the work, because the more hands we have on to help, be it with the administrative needs, shelter, community events, educating,
So
all of that.
What she didn't say, we also have a 24-hour crisis, 24-hour, 365-day crisis line. We need help with individuals that are willing to take 2-4 hours out of their day to maybe be on the crisis line. You know, we'll help you get the training, make sure that you're training properly. But that goes a long way. I don't care if you're a college student, you're studying to be a therapist or a counselor or a psychologist. We take volunteers from universities as well. So any way that you can think of, we'll find a way to use you. If you have a special skill, you're in tech. Oh, I'll find
There's
a
a
way to
need.
I'll find a way to use you. If you're just your housekeeper, and no, you're not just a housekeeper. We'll find a way to use you. If you got an hour or 2 hours during the month, we'll find a way to use you and to help serve our clientele. Because at the end of the day, I firmly believe that we are better together, and together we can serve more.
You heard it right here on the Bro Code Show. To our listeners, remember to support Shining Light in Darkness. And stay tuned for more inspiring stories on the Bro Code Show Community Spotlight. To both of you, both Ed and Miss Flo, thank you. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Our platform is very big when it comes to wellness. We spoke a little bit about therapy, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. And when you're dealing, when you work in a space of selflessness, meaning that you're willing and wanting to put other people's needs before your own wants, it could get heavy. So I'm curious, help the people that are traveling in that space, right? Obviously, you're doing it in your own right, but this many hands make light work, right? So yes, the laborers are few, but for those that are really have their head down, plowing the ground, and really sharing the gospel, the good news. How do you stay whole? How do you tilt that crown back and not let your neck get broke in the process?
Bro Code TV Productions specializes in visual storytelling that captures the essence of who you are. Whether it's personal branding, milestone events, cinematic storytelling, or custom green screen productions, our team delivers stunning visuals with excellence. We also bring stories to life through high-quality animated videos. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina, we work with clients nationwide, providing videography, photography, drone cinematography, and high-end editing. Ready to tell your story through high-quality media? Let's work. Call 919-714-9905 or visit brocodetvproductions.com to connect with the bros today.
So that's not easy. It's easier said than done, and it didn't happen overnight for me because first and foremost, when you see that there are so many needs that one may have that you come in contact with, and you're just pouring, and as I was doing that, I would be down for a month, then I would be down for 3 weeks, then I would be down for 2 weeks, then I would be down to 3 days. And for me to get down to 0 days now was me being able to set my boundaries with myself. And what that means is knowing and being true to myself in what I can do. Because I'm like, with everything that was going on, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. But when people are coming to the fold wanting to work and I'm still holding on, feeling like I got to do this, no, I'm going to continue to burn myself out. And by burning myself out, I'm going to put myself down where I can't function any kind of way. So I'm just at home in bed trying to recover from it. But now I thank God for getting me to the point where I know how to exhibit self-love, self-compassion, self-control, and boundaries. Because instead of allowing all of that stuff to be carried over into our personal life, I've just said, no, this is not what we're going to do. And with certain cases, it's a little bit more complicated, but I still have to remain true to it in order to continue to do the work. Hence is why Ed and we are co-founders. When I was just the executive director initially, it took a toll on me where when he said that he didn't understand it, he didn't understand it, but he came into understanding of what it meant with me doing the work that I was doing, because I took a sabbatical and I was like, if you don't do it, I don't trust anybody else to do it. So if you can't do it, I'll continue to push myself. XYZ. We had our strategist to work with us, strategic planning. And she was like, look, Flo, you got to do XYZ. You are going to be burnt out doing this. So you need to come up with a plan. And I can hear it in my mind as I'm saying this right now. Come up with a plan that's going to work for you, where you will be able to have sustainability, where you can do the work, because the way that it's going and how it's looking, you're not going to be able to do it. So after that, he said yes, he'll step up to the plate. And stepping up to the plate, even during this time, he was still pulling on me, asking me to work. And he didn't understand it during that time. But I'm so grateful that now he does understand it, where when he got into that executive director seat by himself, he wore that heavy crown. He had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And what I mean when I say the weight of the world, the cares of other people, God's children. So that is taking on somebody else's burden, somebody else's livelihood, trying to bring them back, reach them and pull them out of that darkness. That was a lot. But now when I came back, he was like, I don't know how you do it. He apologized, and we came to the decision. So it could be mutually beneficial for the both of us, shining light in darkness, that we would be co-executive directors, because this is the only time you're going to hear me say bringing a balance. It brought in a balance where we could do the work and not burn out. And we can still do certain things that we wanted to do and enjoy doing. So
Mine is easy.
yeah, let's
I
see.
lean into comedy.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to, because this stuff is so heady, I'm going to watch anything that is funny. Go to Talladega Nights. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I'm going to watch comedy, and I'll sit and I'll watch it all day. I'll watch it all night, because it's literally swinging the pendulum from where it's heavy to lighthearted things. So that's for me. That's how I find, rest. And things like, or joking and teasing her.
You still don't get no rest, so nice try. Nice try.
Y'all heard it here. I don't get any rest. So
You don't.
when I take my sabbatical and my vacation, y'all don't see me anymore,
We'll be doing it together. So what? They don't see you. They don't see me. They don't see me. Exactly.
I love it. I love it. Well, you will hear more from the Dudleys, continuing to shine light in the darkness, continuing to advocate, continuing to console, find compassion and kindness from the RDU and beyond.
Yeah.
It's your boy, Bro Troy, and you will hear the next time on the Bro Code. Peace.
Well, when it comes to a code, there's two. And anyone that really knows me and seen me present, I use different words at different times. And the words that came to mind for a code for me are going to be the words pop and sop. But they stand for something. POP stands for, and I wish we will all do this more often, is people over profit. People matter more than profit. You can always get profit. You can't always get people. And SOP doesn't stand for standard operating procedures. It stands for servant of the people. My first half of my life was all about trying to climb the corporate ladder and get the stock options and all that other stuff. And the second half of my life is all about who can I serve? And it can be as simple as opening a door, providing a meal for somebody, but serving of people and people over profit. That is my code.
My code is just being genuine, authentic. That is my code that I live by, is because giving people all of me, being authentic, vulnerability in order to make this world a better place, being the change that I want to see in the world. So that is the authentic code for me. And also do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Respect. At the end of the day, respect, loyalty. That's it. That's my code. Respect, loyalty, and transparency, authenticity. Those are my codes.
Every 68 seconds, someone in America is sexually assaulted. More than 10 million adults experience domestic violence each year. Shining Light in Darkness is a nonprofit dedicated to supporting survivors, especially in underserved communities, through crisis support, counseling, and advocacy. Their mission is to ensure every survivor is seen, heard, and empowered to heal. Join the movement to break the cycle of abuse. Visit shininglightindarkness.org to learn more, volunteer, or donate. Together, we can shine a light in the darkest places.
This has been truly an experience, as always, when I get ready to sit in front of a camera or do anything. The humanistic part of me, I get a little bit anxious, not that I'm afraid to be in the setting or in front of a camera, but it's just the nerves. And I can say that there were no nerves today. And just like this $2 bill that was given to me, it reminded me of the $2 bill that I gave Ed. This bro code experience, this is and will always be a relational experience where the two become one, where you can't tell the difference from the engagement of who's who. It's just a smooth sailing, going with the flow. You know, I had to put that part in there. So this here, I love the bro code experience, and I would highly recommend, if you've never been on the bro code, you better get at it. Holla at your boy Troy so you can experience the experience you've never experienced before, and then to put yourself out there to help others as well. I thank you.
So he talked about the Mason-Dixon line. I'm going to say north of the Mason-Dixon line and south of the Mason-Dixon line. When you think about the Broco Show, I've been following the Broco Show for a number of years, and I've seen all of the dope guests that he's had on the show. It's been absolutely amazing, but to actually sit behind the camera and engage. This is an experience that I know my wife nor I will ever forget. So if you're not following, liking, and subscribing to the Bro Code Show, you're missing out. This is an experience that you're not going to get on ABC, CBS, NBC, and definitely not Fox. The Bro Code Show is where it's at.
You heard the man right here, okay? I'm Bro Troy, the visionary of the Bro Code Show. Yes, he's right behind me. I didn't make this stuff up.
We in the house.
We in the house.